Page 29, Tambourine Tune. In this lesson, at the top of the page, you see a little bit, they talk about an interval. Intervals are kind of important. We're going to talk about those a lot, so it's kind of important that you understand them. They're pretty simple, although you can get as complicated as you want to with these things. Generally speaking, an interval is defined as the distance between any two notes. I'm not talking distance in feet and yards. I'm talking distance in how many notes are between them. How many notes are between two notes? For instance, and we're only using the white keys here. If I have this note and I have this note, and I want to know the interval between them, what is the interval? The way to do it is simply count up. You count it. And the note you're on, first note, that's 1. We don't start with 0. You start with 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is an interval of a sixth. And that's as complicated as it needs to get for a while. A single note is called a unison. The interval is unison. And then a 2, a second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It just goes on and on and on. The intervals that are really important are the third, every other note, that our harmony is built on thirds. That's why it is. So it's a 1, 2, 3. They sound okay. And the octave. The interval of an 8. OCT means oct. 8. Oct means 8. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's letter. That's an octave. C to C, D to A to A, E to E. They're octaves. If I go this one, well, that's 2 octaves because there's one in between. We talk about octaves a lot, and I'm going to start talking about them here so you understand what an octave is. It's just letter to letter. You could go up or down, doesn't matter. It's letter to letter. Generally, when figuring intervals, we count up, although you could count down. Here, I could count down rather than 1, 2, 3, 4. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's some cases in dealing with intervals where it changes depending on which direction you go. So be careful. Just get into the habit of always going up if you can. Just go up. Yeah, it makes life easier. In this lesson, they're talking about the interval of a second. A second is a step. Remember steps and skips? Play the note next to it. That's a step. Anything bigger than that? That's a skip. You got steps and skips. So a second is a step, up or down. Look at the first measure here. We have an A and a B and a C and a D and an E. Those are steps, all steps going up. We're dealing in steps. But when I finish the first line here, and I go to the second line here, well, that's a skip, because that's not next to it. That's a skip. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an interval of a fifth there. They'll get to the other intervals later, but why wait? I mean, it's simple. You just count up to whatever interval it is. Big deal. And I need you to understand what an octave is, because I need to start using that term. Now, in music, a step is the next note up. So if a note is on a line, the next one up would be on a space, or the next one down would be in a space, because it goes line, space, and steps go that way. Yeah, okay. You get to where you recognize the steps real quick in the music. Like that first measure, they're all steps. They're all next to each other. It's going up. Line, space, oh, okay. And some of the other intervals are easy to see too, but we'll talk about those later. Let's talk about this tune and see what it's doing. I'm just going to go through the process. I look it over. I see it's 4 lines long. We're getting longer now. Treble, bass, clef. 4/4 time signature. I see quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. And we have a rest stuck in there. I think that's different. Have we had the rest before? I can't remember. I think we've had a quarter rest and we've had a half rest. I don't remember them showing us a whole rest. But we have a whole rest here. I don't know why they did it, but they did. It seems, look at measure 8. It's the last measure, the second line, and the upper staff, you see that little box? You could probably cross that out and pretend it's not there. That's a whole rest, and we haven't really had it yet. I prefer to talk about that a little later. Because the half rest is a box also, but in a half rest, the line is under the rest. That's the difference. And this one, the line is above the rest, and that's the difference. So don't worry about that rest right now. Just pretend that that measure right there is empty, like all the other measures that don't have anything in them. So where do the hands go? Well, you're starting with second finger here. That puts the hand here. And right hand has thumb on middle C. So now we're here, because we have been here, that left hand went down. So now you got to remember which note each finger's on, and the left hand just went down. So we're here, here. Actually, we're only using these two notes in the left hand. All the rest are up here. You need to know the names of the notes in the music. I can't say that enough. Drill yourself over and over on the name. Just play it and say it. A, B, C, D, E, E, D, D, C, D. You get to where you can just play it and say it. You don't have to go that fast, just do it. Forget the rhythm, you're just focusing on the note names. So once I have an idea of this, I go through and I sort of play it. Is it okay? Is there any hard parts or something I have to watch out for? I understand this rhythm. And once I can do that, okay, then I'll go back over and make sure there's no hesitations anywhere. And I'm not taking it up to speed yet. We're keeping it slow now, but no hesitations. And then I add the articulation. And here they don't give anything. So what's that about? I don't know why they didn't give anything, but when they don't, it leaves it entirely up to you what you want to do. I can play them all connected. I can put in the phrasing if I know where the phrases are, and I think the phrases here are every 2 measures. So you just lift up. Lift up. So I can put in phrasing. I can put in staccatos if I wanted to. Experiment. I put in 2-note slurs. I do anything I want because it doesn't say anything. It's how you interpret the music. I need to talk more and more about interpretation, but they keep throwing new stuff at you, and I don't want to introduce too much yet. But I need to get into interpretation. So you're not just playing note, 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 note. We turn it into music. And then once the articulation's out of the way, I think about the dynamics. It starts out soft, whatever you think soft is, and then in measure 9, third line, now you're loud here. Okay, whatever. There's no repeat sign here, so you're just playing it once. And then speed, well, this is a happy piece. And how fast you go again is up to you. It needs to feel good, but it needs to be accurate. Huh? Turns out the last 2 lines are just like the first 2 lines, except they're loud instead of soft. And, well, cool. Then you only have 2 lines of music to learn, really. Let's play it together slowly. This is assuming you can play it okay with no hesitations. I'm not going to do louds and softs. We're just playing it. I'll give us 4 counts. We're just checking notes and rhythms is all this is for. By the way, I need to explain another thing I've been doing and haven't said anything yet. At the end, like the last measure is a whole note. In the play with me or the duet, I say off at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. Off, you come off. And the reason I say off is because it's important you hold that note out the full length. Don't cut it short. Don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't lift up on 4 because that's only 3 counts long. You only held it for 3 counts if you do that. You got to hold it for a full 4 counts. And the way to help do that is to have something after it. Well, we can't have a beat. There's no beat there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Because there's no 1. We're at the end. So, since there's no beat there, I say off. That represents the beat that's not there to make sure we hold the last note out the full length. That's just something that I do. Other people, they all have their own methods of doing that. Most of them don't have a method. They cut the last note short. They don't realize they're not holding it out long enough. They don't think about it. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 4. 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4, off. I like to play the duet at the bottom of the page, and you play what you just played. We're going to go a lot faster, though, take it up to speed. I'm not going to take it all the way up to speed, but we sped it up quite a bit just because it gets hard to follow. That's quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how fast we're going to go. And I need you to go up an octave. Remember I said I was going to talk about octaves? In the past, I've said, I need you to go up on the keyboard. I want you to pretend this middle C is now here. Well, that's an octave. So now I'm just going to say, go up an octave on the keyboard. And that way you understand that instead of here, you're going to go up to here. So from now on, I just say that, okay, you get it. I know you get it. I like to repeat myself. 1, 2, ready, go.